September 22nd, 1990. With a fight against the WBO champion Nigel Benn all but confirmed, Chris Eubank sent him a devastating message when he took on Ronaldo dos Santos at London's Albert Hall.
Eubank almost glides out of the ring, struts out of his corner. The first punch he throws. Count is 7. He's not going to make it. He hasn't. Oh, that's amazing.
I'd like you to know, Nigel, that I can punch as hard as you. Only I am more controlled. This is why I shall take you out on the night of the 18th of November. You are mine, you belong to me. I am the man.
In what was a brilliant promotional move, Eubank and Benn appeared live together on ITV to sign fight contracts, and the interview beforehand showed that the much publicized bad blood between the pair was real.
I can't wait to November the 18th to give him a good hiding.
He's the real hype. I come up the hard way. I didn't
prove myself, boy.
You had your time. Let's have some parliamentary procedure here, right?
Oh, God.
I have nothing to say to Nigel. I find the man intolerable in that he's so wild. I have no time for such people. He has no class as far as I see it.
I have to say, there seems an element of genuine hate between these two, Ambrose.
For sure.
I don't hate the man. I just want his WBO title.
All right, gentlemen, you both signed the contract.
I personally do hate him. I personally do hate him.
November 18th, 1990. After months of animosity and mind games, Eubank and Benn settled their differences in front of 12,000 fans at the NEC Arena in Birmingham. In a final attempt to unsettle Eubank, Benn's manager Ambrose Mendy cut short his simply the best entrance music as he made his way to the ring. However, Eubank remained unfazed and did his trademark vault over the top rope.
Here comes the challenger.
Following the preliminaries, an awkward touch of gloves, and plenty of posturing, Eubank's wild right hand attempt at the sound of the opening bell set the tone for a frantic contest.
Even if he is doing it on the run,
it looks as though he's going to try to evade the punches rather than block them, and that could be dangerous.
In round 2, Eubank didn't budge when Benn connected with powerful right hands, and in the final 30 seconds, he showed that he could hurt the Dark Destroyer when a counter left hook followed by a right hand sent him reeling back against the ropes.
scheduled for 12.
Oh, that was a short range. Well, Eubank has taken that one, Reg. He's not going to be able to strut. He's going to have to try and hurt Benn. He's done the watch.
Down Benn by the look of it. Shot the right hand down those right above us, Benn. We're almost falling down in the ring on us here.
This is what we've seen Benn so dangerous from this position.
Phil was saying he likes to battle back, Benn. Well, he's got to do it here.
Benn's caught him again, but Eubank is taking these punches well.
Got them in Atlantic City.
So Eubank is still backing off, Reg, and you think after the success he would come forward trying to take the play away again.
Ricky backers around in this quite big audience. Oh, that's when he's dangerous, isn't he? Into the third. Clever blow, Ben.
Yeah, he has. I love the shot from Eubank. Is he going to follow up this time? He said he could do the business. Well, he's mixing it and it worked it. And that was a lovely uppercut shot. He showed it from before Eubank. He's nothing is strange. His defences have come apart a little bit this round, Rich.
At the end of the fourth round, Benn's left eye was visibly swollen. However, Eubank had suffered a worse injury, a lacerated tongue, which occurred when the impact of Benn's right uppercut caused him to bite through it. Eubank hid the injury from his corner in fear that it would lead to a stoppage from the ringside doctor, and continued to fight.
Boxing skill.
Another good left hook from Benn.
Well, that was a good body punch.
After Eubank's counter-punching won him rounds 5 and 6, British heavyweight boxer Frank Bruno summed the fight up perfectly at ringside.
One of the most exciting fights I've been to, Gary, you know? It's either even Stevens and Eubanks looks a favourite at the moment, but Nigel Benn is a very dangerous guy. He can come with any even fight, Gary.
Round, so he's trying to... Oh, two good shots now. Will Benn take those, Reg?
He knows instantly, Eubank, when he's got the man in trouble. The referee might just calm them down a bit, so I don't want any talking. I'm the only guy who's paid for the talking, apart from the commentators.
With his left eye almost swollen shut, Benn went for broke in the 8th round and scored a knockdown. Eubank claimed to have slipped and quickly regained his composure.
Be a master of the noble art. Almost came out on our lap there, Jim. A little bit of a slip. He's arguing with the referee for the slip. But there's no point in him shouting at him because he got clipped at the same time.
I think it was a bit of both, Nigel. Was it slip? It was a punch that caused him to slip, so you got to count.
3 American judges, remember, if this does go 12.
Full credit to Benn. He came out in the 7th with a good round.
Well, Eubank is saying that was a rapid punch to the back of the neck.
And then Benn's come back in again, had a couple of good rounds. So it's really pretty even at this moment, Rich. He threw a punch and missed, and he ducked away down, as he's been earlier. He's going to have to strike himself, but maybe he needs to land a couple of shots like that.
A classic 1-2 combination in the final 30 seconds of the 9th round visibly hurt Benn for the 2nd time in the fight. Benn tried to hold, but this time Eubank would force the referee, Richard Steele, to intervene.
He was stalling for that. Helped him up with the left hand and then shot the right hand over and connected. There's the countdown.
Benn is shaking. The eyes watch Reg. This will be the finish of the belt.
It's all over in the 9th round. And would you believe in Benn's corner, they looked as though they were objecting to that for a minute. Why was it stopped? But I think he was right to dive in there. Apart from the eye closing, he was also getting punished at that point, Jim.
Well, nobody can begrudge Eubank a victory, Reg. He took his best shots. He boxed well, he boxed the way he wanted to box, he controlled the action. A lovely performance from him.
He's good. Well, I told you my chin is cast iron. I told you they couldn't touch it. If anyone can touch somebody's chin, it's Nigel Benn. I mean, I said I wouldn't embrace him or anything, but you see, he's won my respect, you see, because he heard me up the guts. He opened my tongue's open. I don't know, I'm in too much pain to talk, really. What? Pain? I'm in too much pain to talk. Excruciating, this is.
October 3rd, 1992, Eubank was ringside in Italy when Benn, now also fighting at super middleweight, beat Mauro Galvano to become the WBC champion.
Now we can do business. Now we can do business. You hear me? Yeah, now we can do business. Okay, Chris, are we going to get this fight on?
Nigel has accepted. I accept. I mean, let's do it.
Eubank and Benn's interaction at the end of the fight and in the ensuing 8 months that followed led to a hotly anticipated rematch being agreed to.
Come and fight me. Give the public what they want to see. Not all these John Jarvis who's had 7 fights in 7 years. Fight someone like me who's been fighting all the time and who wants to have a fight with you.
Nigel, you're not the man you've portrayed yourself to be. I've always said you were the fraud. I don't mean to be impolite to any viewers who are watching, but you're not the man you say you are. And I ask you again, prove me wrong.
October 9th, 1993, in front of 42,000 fans at Old Trafford and a reported 500 million watching worldwide, Eubank and Benn II was a unification showdown and a genuine super fight.
The WBO super middleweight champion of the world, known as simply the best, Chris Eubank.
Now unbeaten in 36 outings, which included 12 consecutive world title fights and 10 successful title defenses, Eubank made his way to the ring first in trademark fashion.
Absolutely loved it. There it is. The ego has landed.
Having won 10 fights in succession, including 3 defenses of his WBC title since the defeat to Eubank in 1990, Benn had a record of 37-2 and ring walked second, looking equally as confident as his bitter rival.
They deserve every penny they can earn, these fellas, in the fight game. The underdog from a betting point of view, then.
Just before the first bell, Eubank and Benn postured towards each other from their opposing corners, producing a moment that would later become an iconic image in British boxing.
Well, there's the focusing, Jim, that you were talking about there. Now, if the fight is half as good as the last time, 3 years ago in Birmingham.
As is often the case in rematches, the fight started cagier than the first contest, but still simmered with tension and outbreaks of heavy leather being traded.
The Irishman Ray Close in Scotland last time up. Newspaper literati, of course.
This business was, so there's no way he's not got himself properly prepared for this. knocked down a peg or two. But a good right hand lead from Eubank. See, Benn has to pay more attention to defence. It's not quite as intense as the first battle yet, but it's, with every round that passes, it's heating up more.
Oh, good right hand punch there, Jim, right above us here. He's hurt Eubank. He looks as though Eubank would actually have the nerve to call him on there.
I don't think it was hurt, Reg. There wasn't a change in his eyes. He stumbled after the punch. It was a good shot, but he was actually waving Benn on. But you can see he's thinking and his movements are sharp. But Benn's getting through with the shot. It's the right hand lead again landing. You have to pace yourself, and he's certainly pacing himself better. He's not wasting so many punches. But
Benn
the action really...
is lucky. Oh, now it's really lining up now. It had to do that. Loves to tear up Nigel Benn now. That suits him. He wants to draw Eubank into swapping punches.
He knows he has the power to hurt him. Why is he doing this?
It really is living up now to expectations, don't you think?
This is what we expected, Reg, but Benn is the one doing all the silly things here.
Oh, right above us there, Jim, I tell you. Had to draw in my breath there with that body punch that Eubank landed to both of them.
While the big shots were still being exchanged, the action in the middle to late rounds became more scrappy than cagey, and after several warnings from the referee, Benn was docked a crucial point for a low blow in the 6th round.
Yep, 1 point taken off.
So Eubank starting now to put some stuff. A good right hand from Benn, but Eubank looking for some power on the right hand now.
Oh, it's a good exchange, Jason. He's certainly sharpened up his boxing a lot, Eubank. He's set it to...
Benn got through with a left hook. I don't know if that one's troubled Eubank. No, he's taking it well again. Good right hand again from Benn.
But Jimmy absorbs him so well, Eubank. I'm waiting for him to go over from those punches.
Inside, he's been throwing little clips around the ears. See a lot missing again. Benn, and when he misses with punches, Reg, he doesn't quite know what to do.
Sponsored, of course, by the Daily Mirror and the newspapers, this fight. Not for long, the armistice was short-lived.
Good left hook from Benn. I mean, a little bit sneaky stuff from Eubank. Benn looking a little bit ragged as well now, Reg. See, no defence.
There's not much in it, Jim, is there, really?
No, there's not. Benn actually looks a little bit as though one of the earlier punches has an effect on him, but he's not boxing well. He's taking too long to get his punches off up close. He's not throwing any punches.
Oh, this
Oh, good left hook. That's a beauty. That was a good shot from Benn. That was the one.
Yeah, he's stumbling a bit there, Eubank. The legs have started to betray him a bit.
An excellent chin.
Got to remember, there was a point deducted from Benn. Could that make a difference? If it's that close.
Keep that chin low. Nice little chopping right hand from Benn. The event has made the whole thing. Oh, good left. Yeah, see, Benn's leaving that chin. Back he comes when he's hurt.
Football type chance here in the stadium, but here we go, here we go.
At the conclusion of the 11th round, Eubank and Benn were rightly told in the corners that they had to win the final round to be victorious.
Very good.
Big round, big round. Big round. Biggest round of your boxing career. Biggest round of your boxing career. You've got to win this. Come on, get out and stop him, mate. Keep on top of him. He's at it. He's more tired than you. Let him cleanly go.
The pep talks from the corners set up an explosive round as both men emptied their tanks and left it all in the ring.
I'm wondering how you at home have got it.
Oh, Benn, a lovely right hand to start the round, then two more. Eubank slipping on the canvas there. Left hook.
Blowing hard, Benn, but he's still throwing more than his share of punches.
They allow the opponent to do all the leading off, and that's what Benn's doing here.
Hope that they can find a winner here anyway.
See Benn again, he looked very lazy in the 11th round, and I don't think he's got an awful lot left, but here he fires back again. I don't know if he thinks he's not enough in front race to coast. He should be thrown back here. And Eubank won the 11th on my card, and he's doing all the work in this one.
There it is, all over. And we've got that long wait now.
Eubank and Benn celebrated after the final bell, but the fight would end up being scored a majority draw, which meant that the pair kept their respective titles.
Yes, it's a draw. Well, we thought Ben just stole it, Jim, but we weren't a bit surprised by a drawn decision then. Would you believe, is it going to be a third time out?
And I'm pleased basically to keep my unbeaten record, to keep my WBO World Championship, and I'm pleased that we'll probably get it on again. I haven't got any complaints with the draw. You know, it was a close fight. He hit me with some good shots, I hit him with some good shots, and you know, such is life.
Despite the obvious calls for Eubank Benn III, it would never materialize, unless you count their fight as gladiators in an arena for a TV documentary.
You know what, Ron, let's bring some gloves tomorrow. We'll have just a little session.
No, we don't even have to bring gloves.
Well,
we really don't have to.
Them days of boxing over, we don't have to bring gloves.
Yeah, they're never going to allow it.